The month of May began beautifully in Central Florida with low humidities and temperatures in the low 80s. It was a perfect morning for shooting trains, and the first I found was here at Lakeland Regional Industrial Park. That's the actual name of the place, but the railroad doesn't call it that. They call it County Line because it's off County Line Road. This is local 0708 switching boxcars for a customer. He had gotten here only minutes before me and had started by pulling out the empties. The conductor had taken the end-of-train device off the last car just before backing into this track, knowing that the empties they were picking up would soon be the new end of the train. He retrieved the EOT and was mounting it and connecting the airline. He lines the switch to the middle track, then walks back into position to watch the move. I was struck by how nice the grounds are here. You don't often catch railroad tracks and maintain landscaping in the same shot. Now the backup. When the three empties are in place, the conductor calls for three-step protection, then climbs in to set a handbrake, just to make sure these cars don't go anywhere while they're over-spotting the loads. Now let's pull what's left all the way back out. Then we'll line the switch back and then shove the loads down into place. This ain't like dropping a box somewhere on somebody's front porch. These cars must be parked precisely on the spot where their doors line up with the customer's doors. The railroad calls this, accurately enough, spotting cars. When the loads are spotted and the handbrake's tied down, we pull what's left back out beyond the switch. Then move that switch back for the center track and go get our empties. Oh 0708 worked at least two other customers in this park, but I couldn't get close enough to those, so I moved on. Later in the day, Q046, the nightly combined intermodal and mixed freight out of Tampa, was assembling the train for departure. CSX had been doing this about 2 weeks at the time of this recording, and by all accounts, it was working well. Today, Q046 was led by 3 big GEs and 2 4-axle EMDs. Presumably, those smaller units were going to Waycross for servicing. What has been a long monster train lately is not that today. It takes only one move to make it a solid train. Backing the short Q442 Tropicana Juice onto the even shorter Q046 intermodal consist.
About 3 inches. Alright, we're good on 35.
While he was holding here, I got a look at the chains right below the locomotive sill. These have been a mystery to me for a long time. So I reached out to an engineer friend who explained they are for emergencies. If a car's drawhead gets completely ripped out of its mount, you can attach this chain somewhere to the car and slowly pull it to the next siding or set-out point. You can also use it to drag trees off the tracks. There's also the spare knuckle back there right next to the rear steps. If you break a coupler knuckle out on the road, you can swap this one in. It takes a little bit of doing, though. These are better than 80 pounds. In about 20 minutes, they were getting a brake test and giving the dispatcher a job briefing.
Alright, what you got now?
Dispatcher's bulletin number 05637 for Vo and Dukes on duty 1700. And 5 engines today, CSX T923 in the lead, 4,000 gallons. Second unit's 3089, 3,400 gallons. Third unit is a 900 with 3,500 gallons. Fourth unit is a 6445. Could not get a fuel reading, but it is shut down. The fifth unit is a 2036 with 3,200 gallons. 21 loads, 15 empties, 36 cars, 3,381 tons, 3,450 feet. We are not a key train. TO, PTCR operative, got enough horsepower to make it to our destination. They'll work between here and Jacksonville. Over. We doubled out, we're ready to go.
Alright, come on down the light, over.
It's kind of hard to see that light. Are you ready for us there, JF?
That is correct, over.
2 blasts on the horn lets everyone in the area know the train is moving, and Q046 is off to Jacksonville. The following Saturday, I got word from my Facebook group that another ethanol train was coming out of the Midwest to Tampa, so I planned to intercept it around Lacoochee. When I swung into Cummer Road, Michael Walsh from Newport Richey was already there. We were after the same thing, but up first would be another K train, this one northbound. It was K850, jumbo-covered hoppers loaded with phosphate out of the Bone Valley for Chicago. I got word that the ethanol train was still up around Baldwin and would be meeting this train somewhere up there, so I eased on north, stopping for drive-through barbecue at the Sonny's in Bushnell. But a pulled pork sandwich with no bun is not good road food, and I couldn't stop because I now heard that Q452 had just worked Wildwood and was huge this morning. That would make an interesting meet with the southbound K train, so I went for that. Alas, I could not catch 452, so I parked at the north end of Wildwood Yard to wait out the ethanol train. But there was no waiting to it. I had barely gotten out of the truck when the headlight showed up. This is K423, Unit Ethanol out of Bensonville, Illinois, off the Canadian Pacific. I'm shooting from the fireman's side of the train.
LAC K42306 for UP 5427, got a clear
I don't know why he has Union Pacific run through power today. Railroads often run their locomotives on foreign roads, especially on unit trains that originate on one road and terminate on another. The train stays intact, so the power will just turn around and haul it back home. The power desks at each railroad keep track of the horsepower hours run on the foreign road. CSX will likely pay this back by running their engines on some train on the UP at some point. Okay, so the question now is, can we beat him to Vitus Junction? He's only going 50 miles an hour, but he's got no traffic lights between here and Vitus. None. We do. The traffic lights and, shall we say, really cautious drivers from the villages were just enough to make it impossible to catch up with K423. But I did manage to kill about 10,000 love bugs. It's the season for it in Florida right now. Fortunately, it's a short one. So I went back out to I-75 and screamed south, and I got a few more bugs.
Yes, HTK 42306 for UP 5427, got a clear south end of Lacoochee.
Managing to leapfrog 423 gave me about 30 seconds to set up at Owensboro, and here he was. I'm on the engineer's side this time. The hopper cars at the head end and end of train are buffer cars, non-hazardous cars that keep the potentially dangerous material in the tank cars away from the crew. They appear to be loaded, but with what, I don't know.
SXDK 42306 for UP 5427, got a clear distance State City.
At Owensboro, I shot the whole train again, which was a mistake because when I got back out on US 301, I was behind this guy. No offense, but folks who drive small pickup trucks just never seem to be in a hurry. And I was. So after 423 beat me to Dade City, then Vitus, then Zephyr Hills, with about 10,000 more bugs sacrificed, I finally got out ahead of him and swung in at Blackwater Creek. And the best shot of the day. If the cloud hadn't gotten me, it might have been perfect. So not a bad day overall out there. We covered a few miles and we killed a lot of bugs. And hopefully the love bugs will settle down here in the next week or so. They're always bad this time of year in Florida. But we got the ethanol train with the UP leader, and we got that phosphate train, that K train, back up there at Lacoochee. And so overall it was a pretty good day. It's just a question of knowing your territory and knowing where those trains are going to be and how long it takes them to get from one place to the other. That's the other thing. I got here to Owensboro with just seconds to spare. I mean, literally seconds to spare. And I was going a little faster than the posted speed limit out there, I will admit. But anyway, it was a fun day. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll hit the like button if you liked it. I hope you've already subscribed to the channel if you haven't done that. Hit the bell to be notified by email when we put up a new video. And please tell your friends about it. Share this video with your friends on other social media platforms. I would appreciate that. So until next time, somewhere out here on the high iron, we'll meet up again soon. This is Danny Harmon.